Yes, ma'am. Mine is.
Yes.
Yes. Are we live, Loretta?
It says so, it just doesn't have
Here, we can check.
title change that I thought I need to it. So
That's okay.
it's not, we tried.
Right.
It's not.
So are we clear to kick off?
Does it say live in red on the meeting?
It's where you're watching now.
Okay, then we're up. Okay, let's call the meeting to order.
Mr. Kelly,
Here.
Mr. Freeman,
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
All right, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. And since there are so few people to pick from, Michelle, you get to do it. I think this is like 2 or 3 times.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think some of us got a little ahead of you, Michelle, so I apologize. Next time it won't be like that. We'll be better. All right, so we have one item of new business. Just so everybody knows, we're going to do one item of new business and then we're going to go into executive session. But let's go ahead and let's get started with this item of new business. Loretta, do you want to kick off and walk us through what this motion actually is?
Okay, actually, Tom Keating can provide us the best information since he's been involved in this with the first resolution we had passed, but this has to do with the opioid settlement that has been worked on at the state level. And what I would be requesting is a motion for the resolution before you, number 2021-035, an emergency resolution to accept the material terms of the One Ohio subdivision settlement pursuant to the One Ohio Memorandum of Understanding and consistent with the terms of the July 21, 2021 National Opioid Settlement Agreement.
Okay, so having heard all that in fast motion, we're going to let Tom kind of slow it down and give us the 2-cent tour.
2 cent. All right. Number one, this resolution is almost exactly what you passed a month and a half, 2 months ago. The only difference that I've seen is that this one specifically refers to one of the 3 main target defendants in the nationwide litigation, and that is the company, and it's mentioned in here, Janssen/Johnson & Johnson. And so apparently they're agreeing to pay some money at some time to somebody, and we want to say that we're in as far as accepting that, and we hope that someday we get money to spend as required by the settlement. Doesn't mean you're going to get a check tomorrow. It just means you're agreeing to the terms.
Recording stopped.
I broke the machine.
Yeah, good job, Tom. So like electing to be part of a class action lawsuit?
Yeah, oh yes, this is a nationwide class action. And the unique thing, like the last one, is they tell us at the last minute, and they want a very large percentage of local governments to approve this settlement. And I don't know why they take so, why they wait so late to ask if they want such a significant number. But that's what they want. So that's why we're having this special meeting. They want this in their hands by December the 8th.
But we've essentially already approved something very similar. There's
Yes.
a tweak to this. And we have to reapprove.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This is just a different company,
Right.
different from the last one that we did. So-
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Well, I recall visiting this the first time. I will make the motion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, let's do the roll call, Debbie.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
And Mr.
Yes. All right, so the new business is passed. We're going to go into public comment, open floor discussion, just like a normal meeting. So if anybody has anything they want to bring forward, come on down. Are you sure, Michelle? Okay. Nothing about the parks, nothing. There was a rude raccoon in the park yesterday. No?
We'll save it.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, I won't do that under this. I'll do it under other business. With seeing no public comment or open floor discussion, we'll move on to other business. We do have an item here to move into executive session, but before we do that, I want to let my colleagues here know that I'm on the December the 8th meeting. I'm going to ask that the board consider doing either a resolution or a letter of support for a state capital project, which is not one of our own, but it is for the village of New Richmond. They're doing a project called the Liberty Landing Park, which will redevelop the entire riverfront along Front Street. And it's a transformative project for New Richmond. You're wondering, why would we bother to send a letter of support? Well, the way I view it, our neighbors' success is partially our success. So if we can do something to help them, then it's worth doing. So this is just either a letter of support. We can work that out in a future meeting, but I just didn't want you guys to be surprised if you see it on a future agenda.
Letter of support for a grant opportunity.
Yeah.
I got you.
Or we could do it as a resolution. Oftentimes I feel because the way a state capital works, we received a state capital grant for the Learning Center. And the way that works is that every other year, the state legislature takes money not utilized in the previous budget, and they redirect that throughout the state. And so Claremont County, all the other counties, they vie for these funds, and the state legislature decides who gets the revenue. In this case, New Richmond is looking for $887,000, which is a sizable chunk of change. And any amount of help that anyone can give would be greatly appreciated. So I figure let's at least help our neighbors. So
They featured that on WCPO, I think, or earlier in the week. It was very nice. And it's on Facebook on one of the New Richmond websites that can give people detail if you all want to look at it. But it's very interesting. I think it's got tremendous potential.
Right.
Beautiful riverfront.
So-
Speaking of the Learning Center, we were digging the breakground. We made the Otarma calendar.
oh, wow.
Mm.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
I really am going to hang my hat on that. Tarma calendar?
Yeah.
How does one get that? Otarma calendar.
Yeah, you have to know
For our
that.
insurance.
Oh,
I think I'm done here. I'm gonna leave on a high note.
I know, there you
It's
go.
as good as it's gonna get.
All right.
We were digging. we were
So
doing that
since we're
groundbreaking.
drifting here.
Sorry. I'm excited
That's the
about
pot
it.
calling the kettle.
She segued, right? She said speaking of.
Hey, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. You need to be nice.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
He's up here picking on me. Did you see that?
Well, there's nobody here. So.
So with that, we'll consider a motion for executive session to discuss the terms and conditions of the employment of the assistant fire chief. So we've got a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. I don't know if there's any deliberation that goes along with that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes, just so you know, there could be action that we take coming out of it. So I just want you to be aware of that. So with that, we're going to disappear, and we'll be happy to see you guys when we get back.
It popped into my head, so wait until December so we can get it.
So thank you all for hanging in there with us. I hope that we're broadcasting live around the world. If we're not, sorry.
Can't hear you anyways.
That's right. So having said all that, we are now coming out of executive session. I'd like to have a motion to officially come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second,
Motion is second. No need for discussion on that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez
yes.
and Mr. Freeman.
Yes. With that, I think we've got a motion from Fire Chief Craig Wright.
Yes, sir.
Actually, we have a pair of motions.
Yes, sir. I request a motion to accept the formal resignation of Assistant Fire Chief Gary Offert effective March 4th, 2022, or an earlier date is mutually agreed upon, pursuant to the letter of resignation dated 11/22/2021, which is attached and to be made part of the minutes.
Thank you.
So make the motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion on the matter? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Thank you. And I do have one more part-time new hire motion.
Okay.
If you'd so entertain me to do, instead of waiting until December.
That sounds fine.
I request a motion to approve the appointment of Desiree Moore Murphy as a part-time firefighter paramedic at the established rate pending successful completion of all associated pre-employment requirements in a one-year probationary period, noting that the cost of all associated pre-employment requirements is that of the township.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez.
yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, that is the end of our proceeding, unless anyone else has something they'd like to bring forward. Something while we were gone, you thought, well, you know what? I think no, still no, Michelle? Oh, okay. So you can't talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
see.
like that.
I
Yeah.
see.
In that case, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. Do we have any discussion on that matter? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr.